me just say I am thankful for everyone to be here today. TAMACC has been in existence since 1975, and we have two signature events. We have the legislative reception, which is here today, and then we have our convention. We'll be in San Antonio this year in August. We really want to encourage you all to participate in the convention. We have some great speakers lined up, Henry Cisneros, Hope de los Santos, and a few others. And I encourage you, if you own a small business, to participate. We have many of the hub coordinators from around the state that will be there. I have the honor of introducing someone that is special to all of us. She is a state representative going on her third term. Before that, she was a Houston City Council member for 6 years. Let me tell you, she's a fighter for small business. And this is someone that we really need at the House of Representatives. There's not too many people like her. And I strongly encourage you all to listen, those of you at the bar, strongly encourage you all to listen to what she has to say. Without further ado, State Representative Carol Alvarado.
Thank you, Ben. That was a very nice introduction. Y'all come on up. I think y'all are acting like you're in church. Nobody wants to sit in the front pew. Amen. I promise. You're in a safe place up here. Let me thank TAMACC for inviting me. I see so many friends in the audience. I even see some of my former professors in the audience who taught me a lot and who helped shape where I am and who I am. And thank Ben Mendez for his leadership. We both grew up in politics together in Houston. And kind of a funny story, but sometimes we were on opposite sides. But when it comes to business, we find common ground. And you know what? I think in Texas, we need more of that, especially in the legislature. Thank you. You know, we're here in the museum, the Bullock Museum, and I know many of you remember the good old days when you had true bipartisanship, when you had Governor Bush and you had Lieutenant Governor Bob Bullock, but there was a deep concern for what was best for Texas and not so much rhetoric, and we found common ground. And I don't know about you, but I sure miss those days and hope that we can reclaim those days back in the next legislative session. And let me tell you why it's important. One, Texas has done fairly well when it comes to the economy, but we cannot take things for granted. We have so many things that need our attention, like education. Last session, Latinos really took a beating, whether it was in cuts to education to the tune of about $4 billion, to cuts in Medicaid, in healthcare in general, and we cannot afford that. If we want a Texas that reflects what's here in this room, we have to make sure that our kids are educated and that they are healthy and that they have the tools and the resources to reach their full potential.
Hey.
Thank you. But if things keep on this track of partisanship, of trying to one-up each other on who can outdo each other on political rhetoric, we're never going to get there. Now, our businesses in the Latino community are the fastest growing. And I'm proud to say, as a Latina, that our Latina businesses are right up there leading the charge, ladies. So thank you for what you're doing. And thank you to TAMACC for being active. I've had the pleasure of working with people like Albert and Sam on issues to make sure that our Latino financial firms have a chance to do business with our pensions. We are so underrepresented in that area. And I think together we're starting to make some strides in that. But keep up the good fight, keep up what you're doing. We're going to have some challenges next session, mostly to do with the budget. We have some things out there that are still lingering, such as the voter ID, which impacts our community tremendously. So we're still waiting to see what transpires with that, but also redistricting is very important to the Latino community. We, I think, fell short big time. And hopefully we can get past this interim map and come back and do something that is really representative of what I think, and I'm sure what most of you think, can be possible for the Latino community. So felicidades a TAMACC, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you in September. Thank you.
nothing to worry about when we have elected officials such as Carol. She does a great job for us, but she needs our support. So you have to remember to also give them input and help so that they can better represent us here in the legislature. Now, I have a special privilege in introducing my state representative, Elliot Nashtat from Austin, Texas. He's been in the office, I don't know how long, at least 20 years, right? But he's only 21.
So Representative Alvarado gave you the lowdown, impressed a lot of you. And I was asked to cheer you up. I will tell two quick stories. Many of you know, some of you know that I am not a real Texan, that I'm from New York City. And so, that's what my opponent used against me when I first ran. But I want to tell you how I got here. And that was when I finished college in the late 60s, before many of you were born. I signed up for the Domestic Peace Corps, RISTA. John Kennedy started the Peace Corps where young people go overseas, and Lyndon Johnson started the Domestic Peace Corps, Volunteers in Service to America. So I signed up, and the people in Washington said, we would love to have you serve as a frontline warrior in Lyndon Johnson's war on poverty. And they said, because you're from a big city, New York, we'll send you to a VISTA project in a big city. And they promised me an assignment in San Francisco. And I went, yes. But Carol knows this, and most of you know. The government, they lied. And they sent me to Eagle Pass. This was not funny. We went through just the training for a few weeks in San Antonio, and on the last day of the training program, the director pointed to 5 of us, all from the East Coast, and we'd each been promised assignments in either San Francisco or Portland, Oregon. And the director said, oh, and by the way, there's been a change. You 5 are not going to the Northwest, you're going to Eagle Pass, Texas, and we thought it was a joke. And the next morning, we were on a Trailways bus from San Antonio to Eagle Pass. It felt like it took about 3 or 4 days. It took hours and hours and hours, and none of us had ever seen that kind of South Texas scenery. We saw some armadillo and some javelina, and the bus went for hours and hours and hours. And then finally, on the outskirts of something, the bus stopped. And everybody got off except the new recruits. So I went to the bus driver and said, excuse me, sir, we're supposed to be let off at the downtown Eagle Pass bus station. And he looked me in the eye and said, you putting me on, boy? We were there. So let me fast forward to the second part of this. One of the projects we worked on was starting preschool, a Head Start program. And we had, I don't know, 40 or 50 kids, all Hispanic kids. It was out on El Indio Road. And we were running the preschool, the Head Start program, with volunteers from the community, because that was the philosophy of VISTA. Always get community people involved in what you do. You leave after a year, they stay here forever, so don't work for the people, work with the people. So we had all these kids, and a car pulled up, and out stepped an Hispanic man none of us had ever seen, all dressed up in a coat and tie. And he walked to the driveway, and was leaning over the gate into the backyard where some of the visitors were, some of the parents, and of course all these kids. And he's looking over, looking in. And then he opens the gate and walks in, walks through the kids, and walks up to me and starts laughing out loud in my face, just laughing. And this went on for 30 seconds, a minute. And I said, "Sir, is there some problem? Can we help you?" He kept laughing for about 10 seconds more, and then he caught his breath and said, "There's no problem, don't get mad." He said, "I just went to work for the War on Poverty at Austin, where the regional office was." He said, "I'm now responsible for every VISTA project in South Texas and West Texas." And he said, "I had to come down here first to meet the guy from New York City who thought he was going to San Francisco." And I was sweating, t-shirt, longer hair, sandals, and he put out his hand and said, "My name is Gonzalo Barrientos." I want to thank you for all you do. It is going to be a tough session. There are always tough sessions with representatives like Carol Alvarado and other good, caring, sensitive, people-oriented members of the Ledge. We will respond to whatever you bring to us, and we will do our best. My mantra last session, was maintain sense of humor and minimize the damage. I'm hoping things will be a lot better this session. Thank you.